Good morning and welcome everybody once again to Adventures in Digital Marketing, which is this daily show that I do to come in here and connect with you guys to put a face and a voice to the name that you see popping up every once in a while. Maybe I'm commenting on your Facebook feed or something else. But you see me in your feed. I want you to know who I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm all about, and hopefully build a connection with you guys, and maybe we can figure out a way to help each other. In case we haven't met before, my name is Rob. I'm a web designer developer who is obsessed with digital marketing and helping people to level up their business online and get the help with the tech tools that they need. I wanted to get into something today because I think this is a big deal, because I've been through One Funnel Away a couple times, and I wanted just to kind of touch on this because I'm going back through some lessons this morning, and this was just kind of the thing that jumped out to me. But if you are with me live, hit me up with #live, hit me up, let me know where you're listening from, where you're watching from. I would really appreciate that. If you're watching this on the replay, hit me up with #replay. I just like to know, to see when you guys are connecting and how you're seeing it. So anyway, I titled this, Why Most People Are Going to Fail at OFA. And it sounds kind of like a bleak statement, right? It's kind of heavy, it's not really all that positive, but it's true. And the reason is this: I'm a big, huge fan of seeing the 80-20 rule in place, like all over the place. There are 80% of the people that join One Funnel Away are gonna fail. They may make it through the course, they may read the material, but ultimately they're not gonna make much of it. Then there's the 20% though that are going to do it, and they're going to be the names that you see in the digital marketing space over the next year or two that are exploding onto the scene, just like people that have been doing this in the past have done. And here's the reason why most people are going to fail when it comes to the One Funnel Away challenge, or even starting an online business at all. It's this: they can't get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is this: the thing, and it really is the same thing whenever you're learning new stuff, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But here's the deal: the things about One Funnel Away or any learning experience is it pushes you outside of your comfort zone to learn and experience and do new things. And if you can't get comfortable with being uncomfortable, then you're going to fail. It's really as simple as that, because there are going to be challenges just based on my past experience. The new version is already just so freaking good, and I know he hasn't got into this stuff, but I've got a pretty good feeling that it's coming. One of the things that Russell is going to challenge people to do in the One Funnel Away challenge is to make a commitment to publishing every single day for the next 365 days. And most people are not with that. Even Steve Larson talked about the first time that he ran into that challenge from Russell at Funnel Hacking Live a couple years ago. He said, I'll do anything else that Russell tells me to do, but I won't do this publishing thing. And he kind of stuck his foot in the ground and refused to do it until he changed his mind and actually decided to do it. And then it was one of the cornerstones of his business, because he was willing to get uncomfortable or get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so that's the challenge, right? When you're learning new things, you have to make space for those things in your life, right? Especially when you're doing something like this where it's a challenge format. So if you are, if you're a couple days in now, right? You paid $100 to be part of One Funnel Away. The challenge is going to be, you're going to need to make time to do the work to make the progress that you want to make. It's not going to just magically click and fall into place for you as if you're going to just somehow easily understand this stuff. And especially if you're new to the funnel space. Now, I will say this, there is no better training available online at this price point or any other price point than the One Funnel Away Challenge. When it comes to learning how to start your own business, there's no, I've not seen it. I've seen a lot of stuff out there, but there is no better training. So we can just put that aside for now. But the things that you got to do in order to get the result that you want is going to take a lot of work, time, effort, and thought about how you're going to apply these things into your own life. And that's where I'm talking about you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So if you are already making excuses about about not being able to get the lessons or not being able to do the homework, you're already putting yourself in a bad place. You have to do, there's two main keys here. You have to believe that what you're going to learn here is going to work. And Russell covers that in the pre-training. But number two, you have to actually do the work in order to get there and push yourself outside of the comfort areas that you're resting in now, because what you've done thus far has got you to this point. For you to go to the next level, it's going to take new skills. It's going to take new abilities. It's going to take a new level of commitment in order to make that next step for your business. And the example that I like to use is this. So you can see over my shoulder here, I have a couple guitars. Music is a big thing for me. I love music, always have since I was a teenager and younger. Like Kiss was like the biggest thing in the world to me. And my favorite guitar player, bar none, when I was a kid was Ace Frehley from Kiss. I was a huge Ace Frehley fan. And, I just developed this love for music that is, here I am all these years later, and it's still a huge thing for me. And so as I continued to enjoy music, I wanted to learn how to play. And as I learned how to, picked up the instrument and started to learn how to play, I noticed that when I first sat down to play guitar, I'm like, damn, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. And my fingers just won't do the things that I want them to do to be able to create music. And so I had to learn how to train my fingers to do the things that they wanted to do, the things that I wanted them to do. And the thing is this, I didn't go into a music store and grab a guitar off the wall and the first time just sit down and start knocking out Kiss tunes. It was not, it's ridiculous to be thinking that that's gonna happen, right? Without ever having played guitar before. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes effort, and it takes getting uncomfortable. It takes working through frustration to be able to create the kinds of music that I wanted to create. So I've spent a long time learning how to play guitar, right? Digital marketing and online business are no different, especially like when it comes to stuff like content creation. You have to practice. When you come into a new space, you shouldn't be expecting that, right off the bat that your stuff is going to be awesome from day one. You should expect that your first stuff is gonna suck. That's really the truth. The first blogs that you published, or the first podcast that you do, or the first YouTube or Facebook Live, or whatever it is that you're doing and that you're trying to learn and get better at, it's not gonna be any good. And I think in this digital marketing space, because of the way some of the marketing messages are crafted, we get this mindset that is it tells you that that it's supposed to be easy, right? It's supposed to be fast. It's simple. And we hear those messages, but we don't understand that even though the task is simple in its execution, right? Making a commitment to publishing every day, that part is the easy part, right? But the actual execution of the task is really, it's challenging on a personal level, because you have to actually spend the time and effort to do those things. So it gets really challenging for who you are, and you have to get comfortable with the concept of being uncomfortable. So it's like this. I tell my daughter this all the time. We have these talks about school, and I've told you guys about, how we talk about, and, we've got our, our whiteboard up here where we do algebra homework and all that kind of stuff. But one of the constant themes that I've talked with her about when it comes to school and stuff like that is that you have to put in the time and effort. You have to, do the problems. You have to do the work. You have to train yourself to do the things that you would otherwise not do if you want to be successful at it. Now, she's been very fortunate in the sense that, she's done really well. She's a straight A student. She's an amazing kid, and she works really hard. And, we went through this phase where she's like, man, you tell me I'm smart. I hear that I'm smart. My tests, are good. I do really well, but this stuff is still really hard. And the thing that I tell her is, when you approach a task, being a smart person or being, somebody who has natural talents it just gives you a better toolbox in order to accomplish the task that you're trying to accomplish. Doesn't mean that it's going to make it easy. So if you're one of those people that has natural abilities, natural gifts, natural talents, those things give you the tools that you need in order to be successful. You've got a better toolbox than other people do. But that doesn't mean that doing those things, executing that task, and using those tools is somehow going to automatically be easy because you have these knowledge, skills, and abilities. You have to put the things into action that need to happen in order to learn that thing. So then your toolbox gives you an advantage. It gives you an edge, right? You're able to complete things more quickly. So those are the kinds of things that you're going to run into when it comes to doing a challenge like the One Funnel Away Challenge. You have to be willing to, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Realize that there's going to be places that you're going to be frustrated. Make a plan for what you're going to do for when you are frustrated. What are you going to do? Like for me, my thing is if I'm trying to learn something and I'm not getting it, I step away. I just, I'll move on to something else, and then I'll come back to it later. That's my plan. Works for me, and it helps me get things done and completed. But you have to have a plan for those, and you have to realize these things about yourself so that you can ultimately make the most of the time and effort that you're putting into these things. So that's it. I mean, that's the reason why most people are going to fail when it comes to the One Funnel Away Challenge is, they're not going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. They're not going to make the time to do the work that they need to do. They're going to cut corners and they're going to blow stuff off. If you want to be successful with this, like I said, that's what you need to do. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable and then go all in. Be committed to this. If you're not willing to go all in, then you have to ask yourself, do you really believe that this thing is going to take you to the place that you want to go? If you believe that the One Funnel Away Challenge is going to give you the tools that you need to have, then why would you not go all in on this? Why would you not pour all of your time and effort, rearrange your schedule, get up early, stay up late, find places and pockets of time where you can work on stuff? Why wouldn't you do that? It just doesn't make any sense to do anything otherwise. Because if you believe it, if you believe wholeheartedly that this is going to provide for you the results that you want to see, then I have no idea why you would do anything other than to pour all of your time and effort into making the most of this. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, because at this point right now we're still at the very beginning of this new version where Russell is doing it live, and I wanted to bring this to your attention because I think that there's some keys here that are going to make the difference between you being just somebody else who spent the $100 and went through the challenge and didn't get anything out of it, and actually building and starting your own funnel that can lead to building an entirely new life for you. And I have the most faith in this training. I have the most faith in you that you can do this if you actually put in the time and effort and commit to doing it. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Thank you for those of you who've been with me live. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me that you take some time to come in with me and spend some time with me live here when I'm talking about these things. And I really appreciate that. You can get this stuff, by the way, if you go to my website, roborr.net, ROBORR.net. You can get all of the replays. I've got a ton of blog posts and tons of different things there, resources for you for your online business when it comes to web design and development and tools and resources, all that kinds of stuff. And you can subscribe to this as a podcast over there. Would really love to see you there. So anyway, that's what I've got. You guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.